Welcome to part 3 of the video. In this video, I would be talking about a very important thing about the aviation sector. We have billions of people live on this planet, whereby many people are doctors, engineers, agriculture, students, women, scientists, politicians, all categories. But I have hardly came across a person, except few like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Mr. Warren Buffett, Larry Ellison, Jeff Bezos, Amazon, who think beyond convention. As we speak, the glaciers are melting. Glaciers are melting at a much faster pace than we envisaged. In fact, every passing day, thanks to the scientific teams who are working at the ground, such dangerous situations, inhabitable situations, they are working and sparing their hard earned research on Google, which majority of the people do not study except me. As we speak, the glaciers are melting. Nowadays, the scientific community who is doing the research on the glaciers, they are talking about Doomsday Glacier. Now, it is at the Western Antarctica, Western Arctic. And Doomsday Glacier is melting at a faster pace than envisaged by the scientific models. You can refer to, Google on the various research and so on and so forth. Now, the biggest question for Doomsday Glacier is that once it would melt, probably in another 5 years, it would release near about 65 centimeter worth of water in the sea level. Or alternatively speaking, the sea level would rise near about 65 centimeter. According to various articles on the Google, effective 1990, which is around 32 years ago, till now, from 1990 till now, the sea level rose by around 20 to 26 centimeters. So from 1990 to 2022, which is near about 32 years, sea level rose by around 20 to 26 centimeters. But in the next 5 years, due to the faster melting of Doomsday Glacier, the sea level to be rises by 3 times, 65 centimeters. And by 5 years doesn't mean that the glacier will completely melt after fifth year. It is already melting, which means that every passing day, even after every passing minute, it is releasing the water in the sea. This would end up a huge catastrophe at the end in the globe. Maybe several countries or the states or the cities or maybe the capitals, just like we have Mumbai, we have Sydney, we have Melbourne, we have Singapore, we have Thailand, many countries, those who are very close or on the shore of the sea would drown. If not completely, probably partially or maybe a huge quantity. This trigger, the most important thing in the world, which no one wished to talk as of now, and waiting to let it happen, which is known as the Great Migration. Very soon I'll have more videos on the Great Migration. To cut the discussion, climate change is a reality. South Africans are facing the water shortage. Switzerland farmers are facing the water shortage. Sea levels are rising. Fiji, the shore is currently being drawn. Siberia, the permafrost are melting. Many more issues. And if this would happen, by the way, it would trigger a huge dent. I would say dent is relatively a very easy word. It would trigger something which is beyond expectation, which is known as the Great Migration. And this would hit three sectors very hard. I would say more than hard. Number one is definitely the aviation sector. Number two is definitely the hospitality sector, which means the hotels and everything. Third is the real estate sector. By hospitality, I mean hotels, multiplexes, so on and so forth. But as we speak, no one bothers. Media is silent. I haven't seen media, international media, talking about the glacier melting. They are talking about the catastrophic impact of the glacier melting. Everyone is silent. Just like we are having Omicron, and 1 month ago, everyone, majority of the doctor community also said there is no third wave. But now, see, we are having around 1.7 to 2 million cases on a daily basis in the world. Daily basis in the world. Henceforth, it would be very important for a strategic investor. Please note the word. I have used strategic investor. I haven't used investor because there are two kind of investors we have. One is the strategic investor, one is the non-strategic investor. So a strategic investor is a person who invests based on research, while a non-strategic investor is a person who invests based on TV, media, magazines, newspapers, and all these paid components. So I repeat, it would be important for strategic investors to understand very carefully that situation is already out of control. Henceforth, betting on aviation sector for a longer tenure is really a very risky thing. I see the potential defaults of aviation sector very soon. And it's not about India, it's about across the globe. We are going to be facing the defaults of aviation sector. But unfortunately, we are hardly bothered. We are hardly bothered. This is part 3. In the part 4, I specifically talk about the Indian aviation sector. Thank you.